So we've got 4 steel members, so I'll have 4 columns. And the first thing that we put on the column is the member itself. So how we're going to call it up. Then what we call the number off. Now that's not really good English, but it's the way how we say it in engineering. It basically just means how many of them are there. Number dot off. Bit weird if you second language English, but that's what we say. Okay. The next one is length. The next one is width. The next one is weight per metre. The next one is weight per metre cubed. What's happened to Max today?
Probably studying for construction.
Oh, is he? Okay. Total weight. Thought he might be going for student council. No? Is it Lucia's test?
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky. It's a lucky day. Is that this afternoon, is it?
Yeah, it's one way to end off the day, right?
Wonder why she had a nice smile on her face today. Thickness. Okay, so I'm going to put the members that are caught up on that girder, and I'll go back to the girder in a second. The first member, the modern way of calling it up is the TFC, which is what Lance and Abdul ended up getting an extra half mark for explaining what it was. A tapered flange channel, 381 TFC 55. And then the universal beam is a 5331B UB 122. The angle is an 89 by 89 by 11 EA. I'm going to call that up as an 89 by 11 EA. EA stands for equal angle, so you should know that the 89 goes in both directions. Then we have a plate which is 250 by 350 by 25, 250 by 350 by 25, PL, plate. I'm going to now put the overhead projector on. And we're going to have a look at it. And it's binary. And I'll explain it to you what it is. Okay, it is a girder. A girder. A girder is a strengthened beam. Where would you find a girder? Well, has anyone seen the movies Fast and Furious? Sure, you've seen some of those. And they're always doing something in the car, aren't they? They're
Sometimes they go to one, not one.
Yeah. Okay, so they're pulling an engine out of a car, and they've got what's called a block and tackle up on the roof, and they've got chains. And they're doing this, and up comes the engine, and they put something else in that's carbureted, something or other, extra fuel, rocket, whatever. That girder on the roof would be not just an ordinary beam, but it would be strengthened to take the weight of the engine. And there's different ways you can strengthen a beam. You can put stiffness along the side, or you can strengthen each end. In this case, each end's been strengthened with a angle going down here between the two parts of the U-beam. The web, yep, in other words. Or they're attached, they're welded to the flange and the web, but they're between the two webs. And of course, a plate underneath. Now that plate's at the other end, and the angle's at the other end as well. So that's what that is. It's just a class exercise really, but I'm explaining where you would use it and why you would use it. So it wouldn't be an uncommon thing for you to be working in a structural office and they said, oh, we're designing a garage, we'd like you to do some calcs on a couple of girders to hold the the block and chain up to pull the engines out of the cars. It would not be an uncommon thing for a structural engineer to be rung up to be asked that for a new building. Ford Motors or Mitsubishi or something, where there's a big garage. In terms of this, it's if you look at the top, it says 6 metre wide crane girder. Crane meaning that the block and tackle would go along the girder. You could move it along backwards and forwards to wherever you were to lift up the piece. And also, so just a mental note, there's 6 metres long, and there's some information there on the channel. The channel is this piece. That's the tapered channel. The UB, the universal beam, both of those, there's some information on it, and we're going to find a little bit out about that. And it's saying to use an overall weight for steel of 750 kilograms per metre cubed. Now, we can't work out a price unless we end up with kilograms, and to do kilograms we need to put everything into metres. So that's one thing. Often we get to the test and people say to me, oh, is it metres or millimetres? And I go, zip, because I've just told you then, everything's in metres, all right? Because you can't do kilograms without putting things into metres. Now the confusing thing is, in the assignment, you're not given an angle weight, so you have to work it out in millimetres and then convert it to metres. And that sounds awful, but it is awful when you're converting cubic millimetres to cubic metres. So a bit of fun coming up there. Okay, so let's look at the first one. The thing on top, the channel on top. It's 6 metres long. There's one of them. The width, you don't have to worry about. The weight per metre. The weight per metre. Any idea? Any idea? Half a mark.
What's that for?
Beg your pardon? 55, and you got that from there? She just got herself half a mark, because when you pull this up the modern way, 55 is the weight at the end of it. So the weight per metre is 55. And yes, you do have to email me, so don't spend the rest of the day celebrating and forgetting what Lance did. Lance has got my email on fast dial now.
One's written for a shot, huh?
Yeah, true. My ex-wife used to say that.
We're not related.
Oh, okay. So, let's look at the total weight. 1 by 6 by 55. I'm guessing that that equals 330. Once again, as I said, I'm really good at math. And I've got the answer over here on my laptop. Okay, the next one, 533 UB122. Exactly the same. The 122 is the weight per metre. 6 metres long, 122. And now I'm also guessing, but I might need to take a few seconds on this one for my guess. The answer on that is 1 by 6 by 122 equals 732. So really, it should be quite easy for you to do that in the assignment, because you work out the length of your UBs and your universal columns. Find out what the weight is by my call up on the assignment. I've detailed that, and you pretty much count how many. There might be four times the length times whatever that is, and you've got your answer. So there's always a couple that are easy, and then there's always a couple that you have to use a bit of maths and etc.
Was it 3?
I can tell you now on that sketch there are going to be 4 angles and 2 plates. 1 plate there, 1 at the other end, 2 there, 2 at the other end. So 4 and 2. Oops. 4 and 2.
That 720 is supposed to be 732.
I was waiting for someone to do that. Thank you.